Every year, thousands of buyers walk into luxury dealerships, fall in love with something beautiful, and drive home in a vehicle that Consumer Reports, RepairPal, and 28,000 documented HTSA complaints are actively warning them about. The warranty covered everything, then the warranty ended. One GM SUV generated 28,102 owner complaints before a single recall was issued. One Italian brand loses 82% of its value while simultaneously charging $2,500 annually in repairs. These cars exist on used lots right now at prices that feel like steals. They aren't steals. They're financial disasters with fresh detailing. 12 of them. You need to know every single one before you sign anything. Number 12, Volkswagen Touareg, 2019 to 2024. The Touareg always looked like the sensible German luxury SUV. Not as flashy as a BMW, not as expensive as a Mercedes, just solid, premium, European transportation at a reasonable premium price. That image held up perfectly until owners started noticing the electronics behaving like software written by someone who'd never driven a car. Infotainment failures, climate control glitches, body control module issues appearing at mileages that should still feel like early ownership. Consumer Reports flagged VW's reliability consistently below average for this segment, noting electronics as the primary concern across multiple model years. RepairPal puts average annual repair costs at $987, higher than most mainstream brands and higher than several competitors offering genuinely better reliability. The timing chain tensioner is the mechanical time bomb hiding underneath all the German engineering language in the brochure. It stretches at 60,000 to 80,000 miles, costs $2,500 to $4,000 to address, and creates the specific anxiety of knowing it's coming but not knowing exactly when. Carbon buildup from direct injection adds $800 to $1,200, walnut blasting every 40,000 miles. One Touareg owner in Colorado described his experience with the kind of exhaustion that only comes from unexpected bills. Bought it because it felt like BMW quality at VW prices. Turns out it has VW reliability at BMW repair costs. The Touareg has enough charm to make you overlook what's coming. Don't. Current average repair bills run $3,500 to $5,500 annually once warranty expires, and the catch-up repairs begin. But VW's electronics problems are just the warm-up act for what comes next. Number 11, Lincoln Corsair PHEV 2021 to 2025. Lincoln's marketing team did something clever with the Corsair PHEV. They took a $55,000 price tag and surrounded it with words like sanctuary and effortless refinement until buyers stopped asking what was actually powering the thing. What was powering it was a plug-in hybrid system borrowed from the Ford Escape, a vehicle that Consumer Reports and NHTSA both documented for engine failure and fire risks in its 2.5-liter hybrid variants. Same platform, different badge, much higher price. Consumer Reports placed the Corsair PHEV on their 2026 least reliable vehicles list, a distinction earned through electrical system failures, PHEV battery concerns, and infotainment problems that made a $55,000 vehicle feel perpetually unfinished. A May 2025 NHTSA recall covered related powertrain control issues causing loss of motive power on Escape PHEV models sharing this architecture. One Corsair PHEV owner described a powertrain warning at 28,000 miles. Dealer kept it 12 days, returned it with a software update. Warning reappeared at 34,000 miles. Same dealer, same 12 days. I asked what the actual fix was, the owner said. The service advisor couldn't explain it. Lincoln ranked 20th out of 26 brands in Consumer Reports' 2026 reliability survey. PHEV battery replacement runs $8,000 to $14,000. Once warranty stops covering the system, the warranty was specifically designed to protect you from learning about prematurely. The Corsair looks like a sensible alternative to European luxury. The ownership data suggests it's just a differently branded version of the same problem. But Lincoln's borrowed platform can't match what Genesis managed across 6 consecutive years of bottom-tier reliability rankings. Number 10. Genesis GV80 2021 to 2025. Here's the pitch that sold a lot of GV80s. Luxury car quality, Hyundai reliability, Korean warranty, half the German price. It was a compelling argument on paper. The problem is that Consumer Reports doesn't rate the pitch. They rate what owners actually experience after they drive the car home and start paying attention. Consumer Reports ranked the GV80 dead last in its segment for 2021, 2022, and 2023. 3 years in a row at the absolute absolute bottom of the luxury midsize SUV category. The 2025 model finished second to last. Genesis, as a brand, landed 21st out of 26 in the 2026 Consumer Reports brand survey, with every single model scoring average or below, not one exception across the entire lineup. The documented problems aren't trivial. Fuel pump failures across 2021 to 2023 models triggered NHTSA recalls because loss of drive power on a highway is not a minor inconvenience, it's a safety event. Electrical glitches earned the vehicle Consumer Reports' lowest severity scores in electronics. Drive system concerns appeared in 2024 models at mileages that buyers had specifically chosen the GV80 to avoid experiencing. One GV80 owner described discovering the fuel pump recall after his car stopped moving on a freeway entrance ramp. Loss of drive power is the clinical phrase. What actually happened is my car quit on a highway. That's what the warranty covered. My confidence in the vehicle was not a covered item. Dead last 3 years running isn't bad luck. It's a pattern the data confirms without ambiguity. But Genesis's basement reliability can't match what Mercedes charges to finish last in their own segment. Number 9. Mercedes-Benz GLE 2021 to 2025. The GLE is genuinely impressive in a showroom. The MBUX screens are striking. The ambient lighting is theatrical. The seats feel expensive because they are expensive. Mercedes spent real money making this vehicle look like the premium product the price suggests it is. Consumer Reports spent time asking GLE owners what happened after the showroom moment ended. Consumer Reports ranked the GLE dead last among mid-size luxury SUVs in 2025 reliability testing, behind every German, Japanese, and American competitor in the category simultaneously. Transmission, fuel system, climate controls, brakes, and electrical accessories all flagged as problem areas. 5 systems, 1 vehicle, last place. The MBUX infotainment freezes mid-route, and Mercedes' own service documentation describes the behavior and recommends resets, which means they know it happens frequently enough to need a standard protocol. A March 2024 NHTSA recall covered 116,020 GLE and GLS models for 48-volt mild hybrid ground connections that could loosen and cause fire condition. On a vehicle people are still financing. The air suspension delivers a magnificent ride and costs $1,500 to $2,500 per corner when the air springs fail, which they do on a timetable that experienced GLE mechanics describe as predictable. Nearly 75% of GLE owners surveyed by Consumer Reports reported not getting the value they expected for the money they spent. 75%. That's not a vocal minority. That's the majority of owners speaking from direct experience. But Mercedes' last place finish can't match what BMW quietly installed inside every X5 timing cover. Number 8. BMW X5 2018 to 2024. Ask any independent BMW specialist which model keeps their business most consistently profitable, and most give the same answer. The X5. Not because it's unreliable by design, because it's expensive by design, and expensive German engineering has a very specific way of expressing itself the moment the warranty stops absorbing what that expression actually costs. RepairPal documents $1,166 average annual repair costs for the X5, with both frequency and severity of repairs rated higher than normal for the segment. Consumer Reports has flagged below average predicted reliability across multiple X5 model years. The N63 twin-turbo V8 in particular carries documented timing, chain guide failures requiring $3,000 to $5,000 preventative work around 60,000 to 80,000 miles, and valve stem seal failures that cause progressive oil consumption between services that many owners attribute to forgetting to check the dipstick. The cooling system failure pattern compounds the picture. Water pump and thermostat failures are documented across ownership forms with the consistency of something engineers knew was possible and decided to release anyway. When turbocharged engines overheat, the damage isn't limited to the cooling component, it spreads to whatever was running hot while the cooling system failed silently. One X5 owner in Atlanta tracked years 5 through 7. Coolant system $2,800. Timing chain guides $4,200. Turbocharger wastegate $3,100. None of these were surprises to the mechanic, he said. The surprise was entirely mine. Annual costs run $3,500 to $6,000 across years 5 through 10. BMW ranked 5th overall in Consumer Reports brand survey, but the X5 model data tells a different story than the brand average. But BMW's timing chain anxiety can't match what Jaguar delivers through spectacular parts scarcity and electrical creativity. Now stay with me, because the next 5 include a brand dead last 3 consecutive years, an Italian SUV built from somebody everybody else's cheaper components and the single most expensive brand to maintain in America. Number 7. Jaguar F-Pace, 2017 to 2024. The F-Pace is genuinely one of the best-looking SUVs ever built. Jaguar's designers understood proportion in a way that makes used examples at $25,000 feel like profound discoveries. A $62,000 vehicle wearing the same body it had the day it left the factory, offered at a number that shouldn't be possible. There's a reason that number's possible. It's the same reason RepairPal documents $1,123 average annual repair costs for Jaguar, with 16% of repairs classified as severe, compared to 12% across all vehicles. Electrical failures that cost $200 to resolve on a Japanese vehicle regularly cost $2,000 on a Jaguar. Specialist diagnosis, specialist parts, premium labor rates, and the occasional multi-week wait for components shipped from England while the owner pays for a rental. Consumer Reports rates Jaguar below average reliability consistently. One Illinois F-Pace owner's documented experience included repeated coolant leakage, wait times for basic maintenance that exceeded anything German ownership demanded, and ultimately selling the vehicle because of inability to hold value, combined with a service experience that felt adversarial rather than supportive. Jaguar's 10-year maintenance costs average $15,662 historically, not because catastrophic failures happen constantly, but because moderate failures happen regularly on a vehicle where moderate is expensive. The F-Pace at a discount isn't a deal. It's the previous owner's decision to absorb the depreciation and leave the maintenance bills for whoever comes next. But Jaguar's parts wait times can't match what Maserati charges for parts that take just as long to arrive and somehow cost more. Number 6. Maserati Grecale, 2023 to 2025. The Grecale costs $69,000. Open the hood and trace the components back to their origins, and you'll find Stellantis Engineering, the same supplier chain that builds Jeep Cherokees and Dodge Rams, dressed up in Italian bodywork and sold at a price that assumes buyers won't look too carefully at the provenance of what they're purchasing. Most don't until the first service appointment. AutoGuide's analysis of worst luxury SUVs placed the Grecale in the top 3, noting the vehicle is a parts bin special made from various Stellantis components, poorly made, among the fastest depreciating, and makes zero sense to consider. Consumer Reports couldn't rate its reliability due to insufficient data, which is itself a warning about production volumes and ownership concentration. A vehicle with too few owners to generate statistically reliable repair data has too few owners to generate a community of people who can warn you about what's coming. The ZF 8-speed transmission develops documented shutter issues. Software failures require extended dealer visits at a network of approximately 130 locations across America, meaning owners outside major cities plan around service access the way they'd plan around visiting a specialty hospital. Maserati dealers bill $275 per labor hour. Annual maintenance runs $3,500 to $5,500. The Grecale depreciates 35% in year 1, dropping $24,000 in average value before the first major service is even due. The badge costs more than the engineering justifies. That math never resolves in the owner's favor, regardless of how charming the Italian styling is on a Saturday afternoon. But Maserati's parts bin interior can't match what Jeep managed across 3 consecutive years at the very bottom of every reliability survey. Number 5. Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe, 2022 to 2026. The Grand Cherokee 4xe is the most expensive Jeep ever sold to mainstream buyers. $55,000 to $70,000 for a plug-in hybrid that promised legendary off-road capability combined with modern electric efficiency. Consumer Reports ranked Jeep dead last among all 26 automotive brands in their 2026 reliability survey for the 3rd consecutive year. Not bottom 5, not bottom 10. Last place among 26 brands, 3 years in a row. The specific failure that defines 4xe ownership is documented across NHTSA complaints with uncomfortable consistency. Unexpected loss of propulsion while driving. The vehicle simply stops accelerating, which removes power steering and power brakes simultaneously at whatever speed you happen to be traveling. One owner described this happening on a highway on-ramp with merging traffic behind her. Dealer response: software update. 3 weeks later, identical failure. Second software update. The hardware causing the propulsion loss remained untouched through both visits. That's the pattern. Software updates applied to hardware problems, creating the appearance of resolution, while the underlying failure mode waits for the next occurrence. The PHEV complexity means battery systems, electric motors, and combustion engines can fail independently or in combination, each requiring separate diagnosis and separate repair costs. Annual unscheduled maintenance runs $2,800 to $4,200 beyond routine service once warranty expires and the system is responsible for covering its own failures. 3 consecutive years as the worst-ranked brand isn't misfortune. It's a manufacturer consistently delivering below expectations across enough owners and enough model years that coincidence stopped being a credible explanation several years ago. But Jeep's propulsion problem can't match what GM built into their most recognizable status symbol. Number 4, Cadillac Escalade, 2021 to 2024. The Escalade sells itself. The silhouette is immediately recognizable. The interior communicates success before anyone starts the engine. Most buyers make the decision emotionally before the research begins, which is convenient for everyone involved in the transaction except the buyer, who later discovers what lives underneath that 38-inch curved OLED display. In April 2025, GM recalled 597,630 vehicles, including 79,747 Escalade units and 46,280 Escalade ESV units for 6.2-liter V8L and 87 engine manufacturing defects in connecting rod and crankshaft components capable of causing complete engine failure without warning. This recall followed 28,102 field complaints and 3 separate internal investigations that were each opened and closed without action between 2022 and 2024, before NHTSA opened its own independent probe. That OLED curved display costs $3,800 to $5,000 to replace when it develops the pixel failures documented across ownership forms. The active fuel management lifter failure pattern exists in the Escalade's 5.3-liter and 6.2-liter V8S, with repairs running $4,500 to $10,000, depending on how long owners drove after the symptoms appeared and before the diagnosis arrived. Consumer Reports rates Escalade below average reliability. RepairPal documents $1,200 average annual repair costs, but averages obscure the reality that ownership includes $0 years and $12,000 years, and nobody can tell you which is coming next. One independent Cadillac specialist summarized it simply: the technology is genuinely impressive when it works. The problem is how often it doesn't. But Escalade's recalled engine can't match what GMC charges extra for the same identical problems. Number 3, GMC Yukon, 2021 to 2024. Everything true about the Escalade's mechanical vulnerabilities is equally true about the GMC Yukon, because they share the same engine, the same active fuel management system, the same 6.2-liter V8L 87 recall, and the same documented failure timeline. The only meaningful difference between these vehicles after warranty is the price paid at purchase and the badge on the hood. The same 597,630 vehicle recall covered 82,832 Yukon units and 60,933 Yukon XL units, alongside the Escalades, Silverados, Tahoes, and Suburbans. The same 28,102 field complaints, the same 3-year investigation delay, the same crankshaft and connecting rod defects, the same absence of warning before failure occurs. GMC ranked 23rd out of 26 brands in Consumer Reports' 2026 Brand Reliability Survey. One Yukon Denali owner described the economics with the precision of someone who had done the math too late. Paid $72,000 for the Denali, lifter failure at 68,000 miles. Dealer quoted $7,400. GM offered $1,500 goodwill. I paid $5,900 on a vehicle I still owe $31,000 on. I could have bought a Tahoe, had the exact same failure, and spent $7,000 less just by skipping the Denali premium. The Yukon Denali badge commands a real premium at purchase. It delivers 0 additional reliability after warranty expires. That gap, where between what the badge costs and what the badge contributes to ownership quality, is the definition of a money pit wearing an aspirational nameplate. The truck isn't better than a Tahoe. It just costs more to buy and fails for the same reason. But the Yukon's badge premium can't match what the next 2 cars charge charge for Italian passion and British adventure. Number 2. Maserati Ghibli, 2017 to 2024. The Maserati Ghibli loses 64.7% of its value in 5 years. Some model years lose 82%. The Levante drops 63.7%, roughly $64,991 in value, disappearing alongside documented suspension failures, electrical problems, brake issues, and power steering failures that arrive after the warranty expires, and the invoice becomes entirely the owner's responsibility. Consumer Reports ranked the Ghibli dead last among 8 mid-size luxury sedans in segment testing. The limited repair cost data available suggests $1,300 to $2,500 annually. Though Maserati's production numbers are too low for RepairPal to generate statistically reliable estimates, which is its own kind of warning. When the ownership population is too small to produce meaningful data, it's also too small to produce the community of experienced owners who could have warned you before you bought. The practical problems are real and interconnected. Maserati has approximately 130 dealers across America, so routine service requires planning, parts require waiting weeks, and any repair outside major cities demands a commitment of time that owners of German or Japanese vehicles never face. Dealer labor rates run $275 per hour. Annual maintenance averages $3,500 to $5,500. Here's the trap that catches smart buyers. The depreciation makes these vehicles look like extraordinary value. A $70,000 car selling used for $22,000 feels like a discovery. It isn't. It's full-price Maserati ownership, costs attached to a discounted purchase price. The repairs don't depreciate with the car, the dealer scarcity doesn't improve with age, and the parts availability gets harder as production volumes shrink. The discount is real. The problems are more real. They just arrive after the discount has already been spent. But even Maserati's depreciation disaster can't match the brand. Consumer Reports declared the single most expensive to own in America. Number 1. Range Rover, 2018 to 2025. Consumer Reports tracked maintenance and repair spending across every major automotive brand for 10 years and published a ranking. One brand sat alone at the top, the most expensive brand to own in America, with $19,250 in 10-year ownership costs. That brand is Land Rover. That vehicle is the Range Rover. That number exists because of specific, documented, recurring failures that the showroom experience is carefully designed to temporarily overshadow. Land Rovers visit repair shops almost twice as often as the average vehicle. The air suspension system, standard on every Range Rover, costs $1,700 per air spring to replace and $2,086 to $2,172 for the compressor, with the complete system running past $4,000 at independent shops. Consumer Reports rates Range Rover reliability below segment average based on owner survey data. The 2025 Range Rover Sport had 9 NHTSA recalls on file, including seatbelt defects, gear shift indicator failures, and sunroof trim detaching and becoming a road hazard. The PHEV variant adds AdBlue dosing faults, exhaust temperature sensor errors, and software issues requiring dealer-level diagnostic tools that independent mechanics don't have, locking owners into dealership service rates for every post-warranty concern. There is a 51% probability of a major repair within the first 10 years of Range Rover ownership, according to historical data. That's not a remote risk. That's a coin flip on whether a catastrophic bill arrives before the decade ends. Post-warranty scheduled maintenance runs $1,000 to $1,500 annually, plus $3,000 to $5,000 contingency for the unscheduled repairs the data says are coming. One Texas owner described post-warranty Range Rover life with the calm of someone who had fully processed the situation. The car is genuinely magnificent. The ownership is genuinely expensive. These are not incompatible statements. They just need to appear together in the same sentence, which they never do in the brochure. $19,250, 10 years. The most expensive brand Consumer Reports has ever measured. Buy it knowing that number exists, or buy something else. 12 luxury cars. One honest truth: the warranty isn't protecting you from a bad car. It's protecting the manufacturer from an honest conversation about what ownership actually costs. The Range Rover at $19,250 over 10 years. The Maserati losing 82% of its value while needing $2,500 annual repairs. The Jeep Grand Cherokee ranked dead last 3 consecutive years. The Escalade with 28,102 complaints before anyone issued a recall. Hit subscribe. Your wallet is watching.